Welcome. The worst things are happening at Madlanga. Who knew that Julius Malema would one day be named at Madlanga? And apparently there are rumors that he hit the TV in anger when the general dropped his name live on TV. Things are falling apart. Today, I will show you how they claim Malema is connected to the Big Five members. Yes, so please take a seat and also like this video. It's Friday, so let's watch.
Unprompted by Witness A, you tell Witness A about this group of 5 business people, and I say business people in inverted commas or open close brackets, and then you say to him, there is this Zay who's involved in the taxi business, again unprompted, and then now you go to General Sibiya and you say, you see, this person is close to General Sibiya, and General Sibiya is close to Julius Malema. And then this is the important part on page 67, line 15. You say, so I know even when he says I must come, meaning when General Sibiya says, you must come to my party, he wants to ask me, yes, I have sent you, so now what is happening whatsoever? So that himself, and I know that he's looking for it. He's not looking for it to take it to NESCOM. Witness A says yes, and then you say he's looking for it.
At the time of the call with General Shabiri, Witness B and I were already in the safe house. We did not know who we could trust, and at this stage I was already unsure of General Shabiri's motives. The Commission will recall that I testified that I was still willing to give General Shabiri the benefit of the doubt. However, the arrest of Mr. Katiso Molefe on 6 December 2024 made us more suspicious of those who would inquire about the Swart murder case, and in particular Mr. Molefe's arrest. When General Shabiri called, Witness B and I had no intention of recording the call. The call started out casually, but at some point General Shabiri mentioned that he had been invited to General Sibiya's plot for a birthday celebration. At that moment, we decided to record the call.
Can you actually believe this? The man is on a secret recording talking about a group of 5 mafia businessmen, and out of absolutely nowhere, he links a taxi boss straight to General Sibiya and then straight to Julius Malema. He says he doesn't want to report to the National Commissioner. He wants to report to the other side, which is his shadow faction. He is basically admitting there is a shadow police force running things for politicians. Let's watch him try to squirm his way out of knowing Malema in the next clip.
At page 67 of the transcript, you say, yes, there is this other guy. His name is Z. He's also staying in Sandton. He's a Zulu guy, the tall one. So you know him. You know that he's tall. You know that he's a Zulu guy. You know that he stays in Sandton. You have that information. And then you then say, and then he is close to Malema. That's you saying that in the telephone call. So Malema is close to Sibiya, you see. So you've created, firstly, you know the person. You describe who Zay is, not just by name. You say he's that tall guy. So you know something about him. But you also know that he's close to Mr. Malema. That's what you say. And then you say, and Malema in 10.
He knows the guy is tall. He knows he is Zulu. He knows he lives in Sandton, but he acts like he doesn't know anything. He is caught red-handed setting up this entire chain of command from the taxi mafia all the way to the EFF leader. And it gets worse, because Shibari literally admits that Malema is the one making calls to the police brass for interventions. Watch this.
I was once in the office of the general. There were a female and a Chinese guy who came to report about a case of vandalism at the mine in Northern Cape, and he indicated he is business partner of Zenuma. And that is when I heard the name in that office. So suggesting that they might be knowing it, he might be knowing him because they came to his office to report. And Mr. Malema indicated that, yes, sometimes he sent me to attend to certain cases and said...
Boom! There it is. The general admits he gets sent to attend to cases because Malema called the police brass. The politicians are treating the SAPs like their own private security company. But wait, guys, it is not just Malema. The whole commission falls apart when the general literally admits to lying under oath about who he was giving this secret information to. Watch him crumble in real time.
So when you said it was his side of the subspection, you were lying to the commission.
I will take that.
No, I'm asking you, don't take anything. Were you lying to the commission when you said it is the one faction within SAPS? Were you lying to this commission?
No, I was thinking also about the faction, but I don't have facts to support that.
No. You said you read this transcript. Chair asked you, did you read the transcript? You said both the Zulu and the English version.
Yes.
And you knew you were going to be asked about this. So you came here prepared. When you were asked the question, who is the other side that is mentioned on page 67? When Advocate Ngube asked the question, you said, it's the other faction within SAPS. 2 minutes later, Commissioner Baloyi asks you the same question, you say it's the family. That can only mean your first answer was not truthful. Was it not truthful?
When I said the faction?
Yes.
Yes.
So I must take it that you have lied to this commission and consequences should flow from that.
At the time the recording was made, I have difficulty understanding how that can, upon engagement in this commission yesterday, how that can suddenly change to the family. You say in so many words, at the time, reference was to the other faction. How does that suddenly change? I don't understand. Because the reason you give, or the reasons you give for the change, are a sense of discomfort that you now have, and also the difficulty of identifying those within that faction. But that cannot then change who you were referring to. It cannot. What you should rather say is, one, I have a discomfort saying more about that faction. Two, I cannot even identify the people in that faction except for General Sibia. I would understand you if that's what you were saying, but for the identity of open quote, this other side, close quote, suddenly changing, I don't understand that, and I will never understand that.
Commissioner, I agree with Commissioner that indeed I was referring to General Sibia, and when I said this other faction, and having difficulty to identify or to say specifically who is in his faction from the police
and
side.
then that cannot change upon being engaged by the commission. It should stay there. That's who you were referring to when you said this other side. It should stay there. It should remain there. Not so.
Yes, but yeah, when I was overwhelmed with now lying to the commission and whatsoever, I decided to end.
No, reference to you lying was only after you had changed. If you hadn't changed, nobody would have suggested that you are lying on this.
Yes, Commissioner, I agree. That is why I wanted to indicate that the difficulty was that I can't put a name or say these are the people on his faction whom I think they were going to share with.
All right. Then towards the end of the debate, I think it was with Commissioner Baloyi,
Yes.
you even referred to, so a reference was, that is the changed reference was no longer only to the family, but you also referred to perpetrators, and I think you even referred to friends. Who are the perpetrators that you were talking about?
No, I think I referred to friends.
You
I
did
said
refer,
family
you
and
did,
friends.
you did refer to perpetrators. I know for a fact, General. You did.
Oh, no. I thought I said family and friends because
You said perpetrators as well in so many words. Who are you referring to? I know for a fact you did. Who are you referring to?
I can't refer to the perpetrators because the perpetrators are those who were arrested. I think it is 4. And it's 4 persons who have been charged, and I don't have information that they are related or have ties with General Sibia. I just felt it was easier to say family and friends because it's the family who found him, or might be friends, people who are close to the family. Hence, I wanted today to say, actually, for me, I didn't have 2 versions. I had one version when I said side, which I was meaning to the General Sibia and the faction which is perceived to be there, even though I couldn't put names. But when I was pressed, I said because the persons who complained was the family, I said family and friends.
I'll be surprised if I'm mistaken about your reference to perpetrators, but perhaps we'll revisit that aspect after the tea adjournment.
Chair, just while you are on that, we will display the transcript of yesterday, and you will see there it does say it is the perpetrators, family and friends. That was from yesterday, General.
There it is, General. Do you see it? Look behind you. It is the perpetrators, family and friends. So there it is, you did refer to it. Who were you talking about when you referred to perpetrators?
Yeah, maybe it just come up, but I wanted to say family and friends.
What do you mean come up? You said it. What do you mean?
I agree that as it is indicated, I indicated perpetrators, but as I have explained, I don't have knowledge of the general knowing the perpetrators.
No, it's not about the general. I'm sure you are referring to General Shibiri. It's not about, I'm very sorry, General Sibia. It's not about him. It's about what you said. It is you that referred to perpetrators. What were you talking about? Or who were you talking about?
Yeah, as I'm trying to explain, Commissioner, to say, when I was pressed with to say who is the faction, I end up indicating that family and friends. I wasn't aware I added even the perpetrator because I don't know him to be having the ties. So that is my mistake.
I'll leave it at that, General. And thank you very much for the transcript.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
General, it wasn't just when you were pressed for a name after you said the factions. It wasn't just then when you were pressed for names that you changed your version. It was also because it was put to you that it's implausible that the other side could be the police or the other faction of the police, because why would you be saying General Sibia wants the information for not for NASCOM but for the other side, if the other side is General Sibia's side? You would have then said for his side. That is why you then, it wasn't just because you were asked for names that you changed your version. Do you accept that it was both when you were asked for the names and then it was put to you at several times that it was implausible that in context could have meant the other faction within the police force?
Yes, that is why I'm saying it was when I was pressed. I remember it was Commissioner Baloyi to say, I cannot say there is other side, and then I say is the other faction, and I can't mention because my response, I remember I said I choose not to mention the names. And then it came from there when the pressure started mounting from there. And that is where I became confused to come up with anything to get out of that, because I didn't want to mention a name of a police whom I will be just speculating through my perception without those people knowing anything to do with anything.
Okay, so let's then understand what your version is of the other side. So it's not the family. It's not Mr. Molefe's family.
No,
It is not the National Commissioner's side. We know that. So is it General Sabia's side?
yes.
Okay. So I am still going to say to you that it is implausible that in the context you are referring to General Sabia's side, because you would have said his side. And it can't be a third faction, because if there was, you would have disclosed that there's a third faction that you are referencing. But let us just proceed on. You say that this call was a follow-up from a call that you had made to Witness A on the 7th of December.
That's correct.
Okay. I understood you to say that you were on leave from the 6th of December.
No, from the 27th of November.
Okay. So your point was that you were on leave even on the day of the operations, which was of the takedown operations, which was the 6th of December.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, if I can just take you to Witness A's statement, because Witness A doesn't recall a call with you on the 7th of December. And if I understood you to say that the 16th December call that you made to Witness A was to follow up on General Sabia's request from you about feedback on the detention status of Mr. Molefe, because the family they had no information about where he was detained, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, please go to file 3, file 3, item 83, page 263. In fact, if we can start on 262. Do you have it?
I'm at 262.
Okay. Just before that, at paragraph 88, I just want... Okay, I just want to point out at 88. It says, this is Witness A, I left Pretoria Central Police Station to assist the team who were on an active manhunt to find Lucky Molefe. The manhunt continued that entire weekend from Friday evening, 6 December 2024, until the morning of Monday, 9 December 2024, when we had to attend court for Molefe's first appearance. So Mr. Molefe was appearing in court on the 9th of December. You see that? Then at paragraph 89, he says, on 7 December 2024, the day after Molefe's arrest, I received a call from Colonel Mokoena, who asked why I had not reported the arrest of Molefe. Colonel Mokoena initially said that he was making the inquiry because this should be reported as a team success. I was surprised by this because Colonel Mokoena was aware that Brigadier Hopani had instructed us shortly after Tau, Kekana and Mabusela's first appearance on 19 April 2024 not to report to anyone other than her regarding the murder case. In fact, since April 2024, we had not reported to Colonel Mokoena regarding the murder case. Since then, there have been many significant developments, including Tau's bail release in August 2024 and his rearrest in September 2024 for violating his bail conditions. Colonel Mokoena had not once complained that we had not reported any of these developments to him at the time. Then on the next page, when I reminded Colonel Mokoena that we have not been reporting to him on this matter for the last 7 months, he then changed his stance and said he was only inquiring because he had received a call from General Sabia, who wanted to know why Molefe was not being detained at the police station closest to his residence and why Molefe's family had not been informed of where he was being detained. I told Colonel Mokoena that when we took Molefe from his residence, I informed his family members who were present that we would be taking him to Pretoria Central Police Station, and I also informed his attorney. Colonel Mokoena left it at that. Now, Witness A, and I inquired again with Witness A, he is adamant that he does not recall you calling him on the 7th of December. He only has a record of the call of the 16th of December. And it would seem to me that the 7th, if you did call him on the 7th of December, then your inquiry about where Mr. Molefe is being detained would make sense. But if you're calling on the 16th of December, it's 10 days after his arrest. It's more than a week after, or just a week after his first appearance. The family know where he's been. He's already appeared in court. So it just seems to me, again, that it is implausible that that call on the 16th of December was this inquiry or a follow-up on this inquiry, because by then it should be a done deal. Everybody knows what the position is regarding Mr. Molefe. Do you want to comment?
Yes. As I've indicated also in my statement, maybe he doesn't recall. I was also looking on my itemized billing for the state phone, because that is the only one I'm having where it shows the calls out, not calls received. And then my dilemma is, commissioners, sometimes when people are given my number, they are giving them my private number, which is the one which now a lot of people are sending me messages after I talked about it. So that is the one which, when I went to Vodacom to look for the itemized billing in November 2025, I couldn't be assisted. So I'm not sure with what, but if we request section 205, it will indicate. Indeed, I phoned first Brigadier Nama on the 7th, who is the component head of serious and violent, because I didn't know which unit from the province have made such arrest when I was asked to establish on the 7th where it is. Then I end up calling Colonel Mkwena. It's there in my statement. And then he said he will follow up. And Colonel Mkwena didn't even give me this feedback, which it is on the statement of Witness A. He gave me the telephone number, which I dialed. And he said he will come back to me sooner. They are busy. They are busy somewhere in the police. I think they were in the police station. And after some few minutes, he phoned. And I said, no, I wanted to inquire about the detention of Mr. Molefe, whom you arrested yesterday. I received a call that the family complained to the DNC that they don't know where he's detained. He said, no, a lot of people phoned about this thing. And they were with his attorney. He said, tell me something, I forgot only the surname. And then I said, for me, it doesn't make sense, because ordinarily, if the attorney will go to inquire, that attorney should have been sent by the family. So it means this thing is unfounded, and then I will report as such. And then I don't know if I forgot to report or I send a WhatsApp to the DNC or whatsoever. Then but I phoned on the 16th because I received an invitation, and also I knew on the 17th I'm going back to work, and I forgot to ask what was he arrested for. That was the reason why I was phoning on the 16th, not to inquire about his arrest, to inquire about the charges which he was arrested for. So that was my testimony.
But General, by that stage, he had already had his first appearance. So it would be known what he was arrested for. Why would you need to inquire about that? He appeared on the 9th of December. And if indeed you were following up on behalf of General Sibiya about something as innocuous as that, it would seem to me, why the reluctance to report back to the other side, being General Sibiya himself who's asking you this, who's asking you for the request? Why the reluctance?
I was not reluctant on the 16th. On the 16th, I was supposed to be going there if I was feeling well. And again, I was supposed to give the whole, I remembered I have to give the full feedback. And I forgot that I didn't ask about what was the reason for the arrest. And I'm not aware when is the first appearance and so forth, as I was staying home. So that was the reason why I phoned to find out what was he arrested for. So not to say the general phoned me asking me about it. I thought he will ask me about it when we meet because I didn't give him a full report. And on the day which he phoned me on the 6th, that is when I responded, but why don't you ask Kumalo, because Kumalo is the DPC and Mina, I'm sick, I'm home. So, but I end up, on the 7th, I end up phoning anyhow, establishing that, because I felt I couldn't have answered my senior like that. He always phones me, and it shows he trusted me to do the work, and always he tasked me. So it was not that I wanted to know where was he detained, and it was about the charges. And I didn't know when did he appear or whatsoever, because I made sure my patches stays there and I stay indoors so that I can get healed and I don't read, watch TV and read a lot of things for that reason. I could answer phones, yes.
So there wasn't another call from General Sibiya asking for information
No.
after you reported back to him after the 7th?
Yeah, I think I sent the message back.
And then you, of your own accord, called witness A on the 16th because you anticipated that General Sibiya would want more information when you get back to work.
Or if I go that day to you said the birthday, I thought it was Thanksgiving. So I thought maybe if I'm going or if I go back to work, either of those days, I will be, you will expect me to give him a full feedback, also to say what, that is normal when you are tasked. You need to give full feedback, not feedback to the person who have tasked you. So I did that on my own account, not to say he phoned me to say, you still owe me.
What doesn't make sense to me is that you are on leave. So there's no expectation that you are making these inquiries because you are not on duty. But this is about someone who was arrested at the beginning of December. It doesn't make sense to me why you would think that General Sibiya has not obtained this information from other people in your absence. You are not the only, in fact, this was not your matter. You are not responsible for this docket, that's one. So somebody else is responsible for the docket. General Sibiya knows that because he's talking to you. He's called you, he knows you're on leave, and he knows that it's not your docket. So it doesn't make sense to me that it's as innocent as, well, when I was concerned that when I go to the farm, he wants me to tell him about this case, when he knows it's not your docket, but also that when I go back to work on the 17th, he will want a full report. You're not someone was acting in your position. What is it about this which makes you think that General Sibiya is going to expect a full report from you about a matter that's not yours and things that happened when you are on leave? Just make it make sense, please.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I promise today I will be short, but this one I will explain longer. Previously or yesterday, I did even indicate that even if you are on leave, meaning myself, I'm on leave, or sometimes you are on sick leave, you become to be tasked. Sometimes you are called from home to go and attend to something. I even gave example of the 16th and 17th of September 2024, which I was on leave. I had to go to Kimberley to do the shortlisting. The general knew I was on sick leave, and he chose to phone me, not informing the one who's acting, to inquire about these things on the 7th. That is number one. And that is what I inquired from Mukwena and Nama, who can come and also confirm that, and the telephones will show that. So I took it upon myself. It is for us when we are tasked. And I even indicated that even things which doesn't want me, as I'm the head of organized crime, I will be tasked with things which there are components ahead, not been tasked by the DIFCOM or the Deputy National Commissioner. I felt that because I was tasked, and when I remembered, after he called me to say for the invitation and so forth, if I'm able to come, and also I was going back to work, it's a norm that you give full report. And I thought when we meet, he might ask me. I didn't think about that. Maybe he might have asked somebody and so forth. Remember, Commissioner, my response to him the first time when he phones me, I said, why, if his agent not phone General Khumalo? And I felt bad about that I responded maybe wrongfully to my senior. So it was for that reason, not any other motive.
You had an acting person in your position. Why didn't you ask that person? I mean, that person is on duty. They are doing what you're supposed to do. If you were concerned properly to get a report about this, why did you not task the acting or ask the acting to get this information and to give you the report, or to give it to General Sibia? It just doesn't make sense that you are on sick leave. It's not your docket, and I've heard the explanation about even when you are on leave, and even when it's not your matter. This is different. This man was arrested at the beginning of December. You are on sick leave. There's obviously been developments